Hello, beautiful, beautiful black people. I hope that all is well in your world. And this day was a good day for you and all of your wonderful, wonderful, wonderful black loved ones. The question is, why? Why is black folks, why are black folks on the continent of Africa still struggling to feed themselves and their families? The question is, why is that so? Do you know that the continent of Africa is the only continent that has a physical connection to the core of the earth, to the core of this planet? The continent of Africa have that physical connection. All of those other continents, Europe, Asia, South America, all of those other continents, Australia, they are in what the experts call a float state. They are in a float state. Do you know that the continent of Africa is the only piece of land inhabited by mostly black folks, by the way? But on that continent, it is loaded with many natural resources. Have you ever heard of coltan? I believe it's spelled C-O-L-T-A-N. It is a metal. It is a metal that is used in cell phone technology. Without coltan, I do not believe a cell phone would be possible. The Congo on the continent of Africa is a location of many, many coltan mines. And all of those resources on that continent, diamonds, gold, cotton, peanuts, cocoa, trees, rubber, those natural resources do not benefit the African people themselves. Those black African people are not benefited by all of those natural resources. If the continent of Africa had honest political leaders that loved the continent of Africa, that loved the African people, and was interested in providing for the well-being, the health and well-being of those black African people, the continent of Africa would be the only continent that is self-sustaining, that could be self-sustaining, having to import nothing. If that continent was governed efficiently by the right black African folks, then all African children would be fed regularly. All African people would have an economic status that could sustain themselves and their families. Solutions for black folks must be created and implemented by black folks. Solutions for African people must be created and implemented by African people, not outsiders, not the white Europeans, not the Chinese, not the white Americans. To these Western developed countries, the continent of Africa is a paradise on earth economically. To these Western countries that are governed by racist white folks, the continent of Africa is a paradise on earth from an economic point of view. Do you know why there's so little investment on the continent of Africa by these wealthy corporations, companies? There's so much negative propaganda disseminated every day via the racist white control mass media. There's so much negative propaganda, and it tends to convince racist white folks not to invest in the continent of Africa. The only investments that they make is investments in oil, mines, oil wells, gold, diamond, silver, coltan, cotton, peanuts, cocoa. And they only invest because they can hire black African people to produce all of those products and then export those products back to these Western countries, raping the black African people of benefiting from all of those products that are being produced, found on the continent of Africa, but exported back to these Western racist white folks controlled countries to benefit white folks and make them wealthy. So much negative propaganda regarding the continent of Africa, propagated by racist white folks all across the globe. All of those products, natural resources, minerals that are found on the continent of Africa should be sold, refined on the continent of Africa, and the proceeds from selling those products, minerals, chemicals, agriculture products to foreign countries, that income should be set aside to serve the black people on the continent of Africa. Westerners, white folks, They produce, they suggest that the continent of Africa is a helpless place. It is filled with hunger, war, poverty, diseases, etc., etc. Seems as though 99% of the diseases always originate on the continent of Africa, according to these racist white folks in the West. It isn't true, but that's the lie that propagates throughout this globe, and that's what white folks believe. They present the continent of Africa as a helpless place, filled with hunger, filled with wars, filled with poverty, filled with diseases, etc., etc. All of those images that these bastards, racist white bastards, invent suggest to foreigners, especially foreign investors, that they should stay away from the continent of Africa. The African people, the black African people, must aggregate. They must organize and bring that power to bear on these white folks in the West that are raping the continent of Africa of all of its minerals, agricultural products, coltan, gold, diamonds, oil, etc., etc. All of those things should benefit the African people first, and it do not. African people must organize and aggregate. They must stop all of their resources, all of their agricultural products, all of their oil, gold, diamonds, coltan, and many minerals from being exported to countries like France, Germany, the United States of America, etc. China, the United States of America, etc. Those resources, natural resources, those minerals, those agricultural products must be used to sustain, support the black African people. It is the African people that must save themselves. These white folks in the West will not save the black African people. They will manipulate the black African people. They will exploit the black African people. They will steal from, fleecing the black African people. The continent of Africa is the only continent that could be self-sustaining if it had black African people that governed all of those natural resources, those minerals, those agricultural products, petroleum products. If they were governed correctly and used to support the black African people first, used to build infrastructure, homes, businesses that would benefit the black African people, my beautiful, intelligent black brothers and sisters. Solutions for black folks, solutions for African folks must be created, implemented, and sustained by black folks. White folks will not save black folks. Black folks must save themselves, my beautiful, intelligent black brothers and sisters. That's all I have on this one.